Everyone, hope you're well. I've not really done a video in a week now, and that's been because it's just been really quiet, and that's awful, really. I know I should be coming up with things to talk about, but Claire went to a hen do over the weekend, and Friday night, I just kind of thought, you know what, I'll get the kids to bed, I'll do the podcast. I was thinking of doing a video, and then Ben spilled milk everywhere, and I had to clean that up, which was great. But other than that, the weekend was so non-eventful. We just got on with everything. Emily had a party to go to. I had a rush of blood on a Saturday morning and took Holly for a haircut, took him to Tesco's, all stuff that you'd think would have been quite difficult to do generally with the kids and one adult, but they were all really good. I'm loath to make it sound like I babysat my own children or something stupid like that, because I hate it when people say that, but I did get all the jokes of, dad's out on his own. It was like, no, it's absolutely fine. It was just busy with bits to do, so by the time I got to Monday, I tried to record a video like 7 or 8 times and was just like, this is just a tedious run through the very basic, calm weekend we had. It was very relaxing, very chilled. I just tried to not overdo it. I tried to just not stress anything out, not push the kids to rush out the door. Emily had a party to go to on the Sunday, and we got to that, and then it was like I had 2 hours to kill, and I just mulled about. It was like, we went in a shop. Oliver bought a random snail ornament from the Poundland because he wanted to put it on his shelf. It was just nice. It was good. So yeah, as you can see, 1 minute 30 of the video, that's summed up the past like 5 days. I am a moron because I ballsed up a bit. I don't think I mentioned this on a video, but I made a big hoo-ha about how I was going to talk to the school and on no terms were we going to extend the half days. I emailed them, they rang me, and they were like, you agreed to do it till the 31st of May. And I thought, what? And so I looked at the forms, and sure enough I did. So he's on half days till the 31st of May. It's been absolutely fine, although bless him, today he was sick on the way to school, so he's off for the next 48 hours from today till I guess the day after tomorrow, which is a frustrating rule, but I do get it. We're trying to get him back into circuits before school so we can drop him off. I've emailed them, they've responded, which makes me think they don't want to have him in that, but we'll see what happens. I'll push it a bit because obviously they should make the effort really if they can. But no, I mean, it's just been a really quiet few days, and I think it's been winding me up a little bit actually, because I've lost momentum with my stories. I'm still writing, but I'm kind of sat mulling out, writing a few hundred words, tweaking bits. I've got over the hump I was on, but I'm just sat there tapping away, and I'm nowhere near as prolific as I was like a month ago. And then I sat down to do a video and was like, there's nothing really going on. It's all quite calm and quite happy, which is great. And I'm not saying I need drama to do videos, but it's like, because everything's quite calm, I'm just getting on with everything. So then when I come to do videos, I'm like, well, there's nothing really to talk about. So it's been a bit difficult. It's brought up the whole hauntingness of what do I do a channel about? What's my channel about? Because I think I've kind of been led astray by it being about all the stuff that's going on and all the difficulties we've had, and those bits have been helpful for other people, helpful for me, and just a general, way to vent and talk. Once that's kind of done and dusted, I'm just me going about my stupidity, my nonsense, my mistakes. And do you know what? Nothing really even cartoonish has happened. I had a weird, when I went to the hairdressers, I explained to the guy in the hairdressers that Oliver was autistic and needed a bit of support, no clippers and that, and it was the best visit to the hairdressers we've ever had. And the bloke who cut my hair was bizarre, was telling me that he said, apart from a one night stand 15 years ago, he's never had a partner. And I'm like, why are you telling me this? And he was saying he was looking for a lady to settle down with, and that he's 45, and if he can settle down and have some kids. And I'm sort of thinking, this is really sad, and I want him to find someone, but equally I'm trying to get my hair cut. I wasn't sat here listening to his life story. It was a bit awkward. He also, I felt like an absolute monster because someone gave him a tip as they left, and then it was on the side, and someone said, oh, don't lose this, and handed it to him midway through my cut, and he spent 10 minutes telling me how he was saving all of his tips for his big holiday and he couldn't wait. And then I looked in my wallet and I had 0 money, and I thought, please be one of those card machines that says, do you want a tip? And it didn't ask, and I was like, so I just sort of went to leave, and Ollie goes, can I have my lollipop please? And I thought, don't ask him for more, we haven't tipped him, run out the door. I'm thinking, but he gave all the kids a sweet. And I was walking back to the car, and on the way home, it was haunting me. It was haunting me the next day. It's probably the third or fourth thing I told Claire about when she got home, how mortified I was that I hadn't given this man a tip. But she did point out the haircut was like 20 quid for the pair of us, and I thought, yeah, he's probably got his money's worth out of that. But I wasn't prepared for that. I hadn't thought that far ahead. I was too busy reveling in the fact I'd got them all in and out without there being any kind of major event. Ben was calm and everything. Other than that, as I say, it was pretty calm. It's been weird. I was chatting to a colleague of mine today about the videos, the books, the podcasting, the fact that I keep trying to think of ideas. I said to him, because some rival company of ours has just been bought for like £500 million. They're a much bigger company than the one we work for. But I was explaining to him that if you have an idea and you kind of pursue it for long enough, and it's in IT, that's the kind of stupid thing that happens. There's a company where somebody developed an AI. They made an AI that could tell where like viruses were, or if something was malicious. They fed it something like 10 billion files, so it could predictably say that's good, that's bad, that's good, that's bad. They ran that through, and then they released it as an antivirus. And that company went from a naught standing start to being worth something like 2 billion quid overnight, and then it's worth like absolutely billions and billions now. And I was trying to say to him, like, that's not that hard. Like, it's difficult to code, but if you sat and you did it, knowing that there was billions in it, you could, most people could code that to a reasonable standard. And maybe I'm being a bit unreasonable. This guy was like a McAfee X Pro, but it was like, you can learn a lot of stuff. You can, if you knew that was the reward, you can put it in. So I was telling him about it, and I was saying, so that sort of information has been haunting me for the past like 10 years since I got my degree. Knowing I know how to program, knowing I know how to like put stuff together, make stuff, write stuff, record stuff, all the different things I know how to do. I said it absolutely haunts me. It keeps me up at night, wishing I had an idea, wishing I had a niche or a thing or whatever, like. Just something that I could then burrow away at and come out the other side and be like, this is what I've made, especially if it was in IT. And he was fascinated by it. He said to me, you're the only person I know that sits there and gets wound up and obsessed with the fact you haven't had an idea, or you can't have an idea, and you don't have, and you're looking for ideas all the time. And he said, like, I don't do that. He was like, no one I know does that. No one I know is sat looking for an idea or looking for a way to just break out or looking for a way to just make their mark or make something. He said they all just go to work, come home, get on with entertaining themselves. And he was like, it's fascinating. He said, I'm convinced you're going to be a millionaire one day. And I was like, see, I'm not. I'm really wound up knowing that basically I'm 33 and the horse has bolted. And it's like, you look at the real unicorn people, and they were already at the decent point by this. I'm not going to reach that point. I haven't had an idea. I can't. I'm so devoid of ideas unless it's stories, which means I've basically got to crack on with that. I'm just like, it's weird. It's like there's a block in my brain that I just can't get. I think I've created a block in my brain that means I find it really difficult to come up with just obvious ideas. It's like I'm not even looking. There's got to be low hanging fruit there that I can just try out and break my teeth on. But I just end up reading stuff and learning stuff. And again, this guy's quite supportive in his like feedback. He's like, a lot of stuff. You do a lot of things. He's like always impressed and wants to hear more about the harebrained schemes, as I call them. And I always tell him little bits about stuff I've done. He just finds it fascinating. But I'm like, damn it, man, I need an idea. And I think I go through funks. As as people who watch these videos relatively frequently, I get in little funks now and again where I'm like, damn it, I need an idea. I need to push over something. I think this one was born from that company being bought. And one of my colleagues got approached for a job that she'd been looking at. And it sounded so obscenely brilliant, like, and I was just like, I keep, I don't want this to sound like, and I'm aware people from might see this. I want to make it very clear that I'm not looking to jump out of my job or anything like that. I'm very happy at work, but I always feel like in life, if I wanted to get up there, like the people who run that company, they have had an idea and a focus and have spent 20 years working on it, and it's now finally paying off for them. And it's like, if I worked for 20 years and then it starts paying off for me, I'll be mid-50s, which is reasonable, but it's like, I need to be finding that now, and I'm not. And it feels really frustrating that I don't know, I'm mulling about, and it's like, damn it, man. I don't know why I do it to myself. It's funny. I mean, I think a little bits are like Claire will message me saying that, oh, the house around the corner got the garage converted. We should find out how they did it. And I'm like, but what's the point of finding out how they did it? We'll only find out that it cost them a lot, and we can't afford that, and it's going to be 10 years before we can do it. She went to Centre Parks for a hen do at the weekend, as I say, and she came back and go, oh, I'd love to go there with the kids sometime. And I'm looking at it thinking, that costs nearly as much as like going to, I don't know, like abroad for an all-inclusive. It's a ridiculous amount. It costs more than that. I was like, we can't afford that. It's just like, ugh. I need to be having these ideas so I can just be like, yeah, let's just live at Centre Parks. Let's just move into Centre Parks for a year. You know, that's the stuff. I want to be able to be that free. And I know everyone does. I know it's such a, well, I thought it was such a common and generic feeling to have. But my colleagues confirmed to me today that it's not really, and I'm a bit abnormal in that, and that seems surprising. But then I guess it's just the people who feel like that crack on and eventually crack it, but I feel like I'm not, and it's weird. But I mean, I'm happy and everything. I just feel a bit frustrated. I think it's just, you know, you get times where stuff just mulls over in your head and you start going around in circles and you start thinking about it and you think, why can't I solve this problem? I'm quite good at solving problems. Why can't I solve this problem? It's because it's the ultimate problem at the moment, I guess. I feel like it's the one that I just need to, if I figure it out, it's cracked and I'm sorted, and then all the other problems will fall into place from there. But living in my head is a painful experience, but it's also fun. Everything is good anyway, is the long and short of it. I guess when it is good and there's no immediate problem to think about, that is when the other things start creeping in and I start thinking, actually, I need to look big picture. And yeah, if I could just straighten my eggs out and know what I was doing and find a path forward, I'd feel great all round. I'm also massively nervous about Spurs playing tonight, and by the time most of you see this, we'll probably be out of the Champions League, but there's a very slim chance we'll be in the final of the Champions League against Liverpool, and that just seems mental, and I think that's freaking me out because it's a bit of an uncharted territory. And I kind of feel like I always do this. I start aligning my kind of feelings and successes and stuff with just lots of different areas, and if that doesn't go right, I start thinking, why is that not going right, and why are all these other things not going right? And if that goes really well, I'm like, oh, I can lean on that completely trivial thing for a bit, and that'll make me get over the hump. So I'm trying not to put any weight on this, but I know I'll be pretty sad tonight when we inevitably go out. I don't really like either outcome. If we go out, I'm going to be sad. If we go through, I'm going to be stressed. It's a lose-lose, but also a win. I'll enjoy it for what it is. My team's in the semi-finals of the Champions League, and that's fantastic. It is just a weird... I've said this before. Everything feels like it's coming up and doing good. Really satisfied with how the things have been ending. Lots of people have been moaning about, like, I don't know, Game of Thrones or, you know, Endgame and stuff like that. And I've loved it all. I'm on cloud nine with all my entertainment-y stuff and things like that at the moment. It's just weird times, very weird times. I don't know. Anyway, going to wrap up because my dinner's ready, and as you can see, I'm recording upstairs to get this done before the football. But I hope you're all well. Let me know how you're getting on. Ollie's good. Emily and Ben are good. Claire's good. Well, she's actually under the weather, bless her, from being at a hen do all weekend. But we're all good. Life is good. I just want to crack my silly little never-ending problem in my head of having an idea. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you soon. Cheers.